Things recording now. It's recording. Okay, it's recording. Shit, I've got 18 minutes. We'll have that as well. Okay.
Hold on. Wait 1 second.
Plastic bottles as well. Best. This as well. Beautiful. That'll do.
That'll do.
Okay. Talking.
Cool.
Yes. Okay. Do you want to start? Yeah. What I'd like to do is
is this for your final piece or just for your work in general? Like the next?
Well, both, because I sort of it's a bit awkward when I sort of try and think of an idea for something, because I want to start off with, I get an idea for a final piece, which gives me like the focus then to sort of make the activity happen, because otherwise I just feel like I'm sort of, I need a direction for the activity, to sort of work towards, otherwise the activity doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's how it's always been.
Well, yeah, exactly. So like I need to have like an idea of what something needs to happen at the end, and then commence on the activity, and then allow the activity to sort of shape what happens at the end. So the original idea I had at the start for it isn't necessarily what will come out of it, or anything close to it, because that was just a vehicle for me to explore the activity later on. So what I want to do, I thought of it straight away, is having people take a cup of water from the bottom of the Margaret Street staircase up to the top and drop it and have it all go down. And then I thought, well, rather than it just being about the activity of someone going upstairs, it could be something where you can't see the effect from one end to the other end. You have to sort of have 2 or 3 people that do it in order for you to sort of view it all.
You might not even just see the effect, you'll just be making it happen.
Exactly, and other people will see it later on, so it's like there's like a team, community feel that you need other people around you in order for it to sort of function, or sort of for it to see other things.
For anything to happen at all.
Yeah.
Anything to happen at all.
Yeah, and then I thought, well, actually, that's lovely, but what am I going to do for the next 5 weeks? Is try and create it. I'm just going to go buy a load of plastic and then sort of construct it. And then what really interested me was, well, what if I sort of, because I didn't want to just buy plastic. I didn't feel like it was the right way to go about it. I felt like there's a lovely thing about having it all salvaged, and all sort of found in skips or something. And then I thought, well, actually, because at the time I'd been collecting wood all weekend and sort of talking about artwork with Sarah, and there was just really interesting conversations that were going on all the time. And I thought that actually that's a really lovely process, and even if nothing comes out of me documenting all of that, it'd be nice to chart the progress of where it goes. So if I don't
yeah, but I mean the artwork isn't, you know, the thing about an end of year show or a degree piece and all that, you're expecting some kind of it's very much part of the institution to have that sort of finished piece, but I don't know, but the artwork is the whole sort of making. Is that what you're saying about the documentation?
Well, yeah, and I could feed that into like sort of the end piece. So like my idea is that it's still quite, the end's still quite fluid and movable. So like depending on, I don't have any set pieces of plastic for how it's going to fit together. Like I'm sort of at the moment like collecting all these little plastic bottles, and each one's got a slightly different shape. So like with the break mirrors working wood piece, there's no set sort of like instruction for how to build it. It has to be very much felt at the time with where it needs to go, which poses problems for health and safety, for where it's going to fit with other pieces of work, which means that like all these things are going to be sort of very dynamic and moving around all the time, because health and safety will have a problem with it. It'll need to be fitted around other people's work, and depending on how many things I get depends on how big it is, which then depends on where I can put it. So if I've got loads and they allow me to, I will put it from the top of I don't know, what's his name, John Wiggly's office, to the bottom of the staircase. If that's possible, I'd love to do that, but if it's not possible, then something else will be able to be constructed downstairs in the studios, but like a very similar process where someone puts like a cup of water or a marble and watch it go around the room. There's still an activity involved, but I still quite like the idea of having to engage in an activity, sort of collecting materials and then building the materials.
Or someone just having an effect.
Well, yeah, because I like the idea of people who are involved, sort of who help. So if I buy or salvage 100 plastic bottles from somewhere, someone can help me bring them in. You know, who do I contact to help me bring these in? You know, do I, you know, like very much like you did, didn't they? Sort of giving me an idea for actually using these instead of like long tubes of guttering, which is hard to find. You know, those sort of very nice, simple connections help sort of shape the work later on.
Completely.
Yeah, and I can never sort of capture those freak moments unless I'm very lucky, but it'd be nice to sort of like right now, a couple of minutes later, to say, right, okay, this has happened and this is how it's developed, and I sort of, it'd be nice to have a running documentation for it, even if it doesn't sort of appear at the end, because it'd just be nice to see it all happen, because it may become useful later on. The thing I was interested about doing this was the recording of all the conversations was, if they said to me, no, it's not feasible, you can't do it, then I'd make a point of still trying to do it and collecting my materials, and if they completely said no to it, what I'd do is I'd collect all the materials I could anyway, put it in a pile somewhere, and then put over the top of it a running commentary of them saying, no, you can't do it because of this regulation, this regulation, this regulation, and it'd become about me trying to, so it'd still be about the activity of me trying to do it, but being sort of set against with all these problems. And sort of problem solving, because even if I do manage to erect it in the end, there'll still be problem solving going on, which will be sort of like part of it, but maybe less so because of it sort of coming together. But if it does fail, then the activity of me doing it will take on more of an importance, because there's not a lot left at the end for it to sort of for people to know what I was talking about. So me sort of recording it gives the piece of focus. So like right now, what I'm discussing is me using these plastic bottles and sort of chopping them down and sort of collecting loads and putting them together.
When the person does it, I mean, it hasn't fully formed in your head yet, has it, what it's going to actually completely be?
Well, it sort of has, but it keeps changing and shifting.
But as you make it and as you collect the materials and the materials become informed, they inform the piece, and it probably, like, what it is now is different to how it was this morning.
Yes.
And what it is tomorrow will be probably different.
But there's like that mutability that you know, is constantly shifting. But there's a core to it, which is that like 2 or 3 people have to come together in order to